Hello, good evening, everybody, and welcome to another MBN webinar. I'd like to welcome all our MBN members and friends to this webinar. Our guest speaker this evening is Andy Gatesy, who doesn't need much introduction, really, because he's been living in Malta for many, many years. And he's going to talk to us about the Toly story, building a global beauty product development platform for Malta. And understand actually Toly will be celebrating or is celebrating its 50th anniversary this year since it's been operating here in Malta. Andy, can I pass it on to you?
Yes, thank you very much, Joe. Let me share my screen. Sound. So hopefully you can all see my screen. So good afternoon. Thank you, Joe, Malta Business Network, for this opportunity. Thank you for everybody who's joined us live today. To listen to my story, as Joe said, what we've been trying to do is to build a global beauty product development platform, really centered and headquartered here in Malta, and also to really share my story, which is the Toly story. So here goes. We're actually a supplier to the beauty industry, predominantly of packaging. Our business is now more than 50 years old, as Joe just said. We supply 23 of the top 30 global beauty brands, as well as the new brands, the digital, the innovative, the indie brands as well. We are a manufacturing business. We have a factory here in Malta. We have a joint venture factory in China. We have two separate manufacturing businesses in South Korea. And in line with our sales offices and our network of partners and trading offices, we're able to support these global brands, providing innovative packaging solutions. I always like to show the Toly world. You can see here, the red dots are our sales offices. So we have sales offices in the US, East Coast, West Coast, in Los Angeles, on Manhattan, in New York. In the UK, in France, we have a beautiful office on the Champs-Élysées. In Belgium, here in Malta, Hong Kong, China, and South Korea. The black are manufacturing plants, and then we have a network of partnerships, which I'll talk about more because it's really instrumental in building this global product development platform for the beauty industry. Today, we're quite a simple structure, holding company here in Malta. On the left-hand side, all of the companies are then owned by the holding company. On the left-hand side, we have our Malta-based operations. So the factory, Toly Products Limited, our sales office in Malta, looking after markets where we don't have a physical presence. So it's Middle East, Scandinavia, Latin America, as an example. Our corporate offices, so all of our management functions are now based here in Malta. And then we have sales offices in Belgium, which look after the German-speaking, Eastern Europe, Russia, Spain, and Benelux. France and the US, which are big offices, that's where predominantly the brands are. So they focus on their home market. And the UK, which is where we started many years ago. Today, we just look after the UK, but the rest of the business historically spun out of our UK business. And on the right-hand side, you'll see our Asian business. So Toly Korea, that started many years ago as a trading company. Today, we have investments in two manufacturing businesses. Our office in Hong Kong that looks after sales in Southeast Asia, looks after a trading business as well, a sourcing business, and also development business. There's a lot of our molds we build in China. And finally, we have a joint venture factory in China, across the border from Hong Kong. So around the group, we have over 1,000 employees today. Now, if we look at the structure, we have a group board with 3 execs, 3 non-execs, but actually our business is run by executive management team, including myself. I have 12 chief officers, 3 on the commercial side, US, Europe, and overall, finance, HR, marketing, business development, and then on the operational team, we have chief operations officer, technology, sustainability, tooling, and Sam, who runs our business in Asia. But all of the functions of the group report through to our chief officers. Maybe spend a few minutes on our history timeline. It's an interesting story. My father was one of the founders of this business. He was born in Eastern Europe. In 1956, he escaped in the Hungarian Revolution. He walked across the border, a minefield, managing to get to Austria. And on Christmas Eve 1956, he managed to get on a refugee flight to the UK. He said he was his gift to the British nation for Christmas that year. But he started off in the UK, in the Western world, in 1956. He was a mold maker by profession, and the 1950s was the start of the plastics industry. So he was there at the beginning, building molds, but he was always an entrepreneur. So ideally, he always wanted to have his own business. And around 10 years after he managed to get to the West, he started his own business with other partners, building molds, going into injection molding. And he started not in the beauty industry, but in the toy industry. We were making kits for Airfix, for Revell, even in the cornflakes packs. You remember they used to put the little plastic toys in, and he was supplying those. 1969, he had a factory in London. Wasn't the best place to manufacture, so he looked to expand. He went to Ireland, he went to Wales. His accountant came to Malta and saw that Malta was a really independent country, was trying to attract foreign direct investment in manufacturing. And so he signed a deal with the government to employ 40 people, got a tax holiday and a small grant, and that's how our business started. And as you'll see over the years, today, Malta is the center of the Toly world. When we started, we were doing toys, we were doing industrial products. It was only about the mid-70s that we started focusing on the beauty industry. And at that stage, starting in compacts, which is where we're known for. You'll see in this presentation, we're able to cover a whole host of different packaging categories. When I joined the business in 1986, Toly was an English company with a satellite factory in Malta. Our customers were British or American factories like Estée Lauder, Max Factor, that had their own plants in the UK. And my vision was to try and internationalize our business. So I went over first to the US, 1987, we opened up in New York, 89 in Paris, 94 in the Benelux, and we started expanding our business. But I guess a real turning point in our history was when we were approached by Chanel in 1989 to start manufacturing their products. But they had a unique process called UV lacquering, which is where you spray a protective coat over plastics to make it scuff resistant. And we went over to Japan, we found the technology, we brought it to Malta with the largest individual investment we've done up to that time. But it really changed our history because, and our future, because suddenly we were a supplier to Chanel with state-of-the-art technology. Unfortunately, the following year, my father died in 1991. So I took over at the age of 27, pretty young, chairmanship of the group, but still with the same vision to internationalize and remain a privately owned business. I would say back in 1991, we were probably around a €7 million business. I say probably because the euro didn't exist. It was Deutschmarks, French francs, dollars, sterling, Malta pounds. And as you'll see in one of the coming slides, we have exceeded 100 million over the last couple of years. In the 2000s, a few interesting milestones. First of all, we accepted some other partners, part of our beauty product development platform. We started focusing on innovation. And in the early 2000s, if you didn't mention China in your first sentence when you visited a customer, particularly the US, they didn't want to talk to you. Everything was moving to China. So if we couldn't beat them, we joined them and we opened our own plant in Shenzhen in 2005. 2006, we continued expanding in Asia. We opened an office in Hong Kong, an office in Seoul, office in India. We moved our development site from the UK to Malta 2007. And India and Korea went into manufacturing. We built manufacturing plants. Korea has been a fantastic success for us. India was a disaster, and we exited. In fact, I tell everybody I know what India stands for. INDIA. I'll never do it again. We still have our money stuck in India with the bureaucracy trying to get that out. Last few years, the last decade has also been interesting, more investments. I think a big turning point was 2014, when we opened up our corporate offices here, brand new corporate offices with an integrated innovation center here in Malta. And it really changed our customers' perception of Toly. They came in here and they said, wow, this is fantastic, your vision of the future. Unfortunately, we had a 50-year-old factory. So we started talking to the government, and again, we started building a new plant, which officially opened in 2019. And again, it's our vision of the future. And as Joe said, last year, we officially celebrated 50 years of manufacturing here in Malta. So let me switch now to a few numbers. From 2014 to 2018, we doubled our business. We grew fast. We went to just over 50 million to just over 100 million in sales. Now, obviously, the pandemic has hit us. We're in the beauty business, so makeup sales do get affected from social distancing. People wear makeup when they go to the office, when they go out for dinner, when they go to party. And of course, the wearing of masks doesn't help because most of your face is covered. So we dropped in 2020. We haven't really recovered in 2021. It was pretty flat, but we had a very tough first quarter. If you remember this time last year, most of the Western world was back into lockdowns, and the business then did recover over the following 3 quarters. Now, we have a strong budget this year to get back to over 100 million with a strong growth ambition, as you'll see in this presentation. If you look at our business, we've really done a good job in diversifying our risks. Here is our sales offices. This is what we sell in the different regions. And you can see the US is our largest sales office, which I love to show this because 30 years ago, I was told we'd never sell a product in the US market made in Malta. And I love to accept the challenge. Today, it's our largest office. They were hit the most in COVID in 2020, but actually grew and recovered the most last year. And you can see a nice spread. France, just under 19%. Belgium, UK, 12.5%, 13%, 14%. Malta sales is our smallest office, and our Asian business is also fairly strong. And I think this diversity of geographies helps us. You know, you enter a COVID pandemic in Asia, the rest of the world is going strong, and by the time it filters across the world, you get different geopolitical events. So by spreading out your risk certainly helps. Our top 15 customer slide is one of my favorite slides. It's very interesting for a few reasons. First of all, at Toly, we don't have a dominant customer. Number one brand is the largest player in the industry, L'Oreal, but it's only around 11% of our business. And LVMH is very similar as well. But these are not single brands. They're a company. LVMH, for instance, owns Guerlain, Givenchy, Christian Dior, Sephora, Benefit, Kendo, with all of the brands there. Top 10 customers, last year, 54% of our business. 10 years ago, our top 10 customers would have been 80% of our business. So we've diversified our customer base. And also what's really interesting is we have a mix of legacy brands. So you see the L'Oreal's, the Beiersdorf's, LVMH, Estée Lauder, P&G, for instance, but also the new brands, emerging brands, former brands. We launched Ariana Grande's beauty line last year. Beauty Pie, very interesting, a subscription-based model. Augustinus Bader, an online, very nice skincare product. So having this mix of the legacy brands and the emerging brands certainly helps us being prepared for the future. If you look at where our sources of supply are, also very interesting. So the first 4 are our factories. Last year, 58% of what we sold was made in our own factories. That gives us our credibility. That really gives us our credibility because we understand manufacturing, quality, engineering. The 37%, which is our sourcing business, that gives us our agility, flexibility. And in a crisis, really important. You know, a customer comes to you for a product that you can't make in your factories, you've lost the sale. But we're able to take that product, go to our sourcing business, and still find a solution for our customers. And you can see it's a very nice spread. You know, you've got 18% in Malta, you know, China 6, our Korean factories, 17, our trading businesses. So a very nice risk diversification here as well. Here in Malta, our corporate offices are really beautiful. When you enter into them, you look like a brand, not like a manufacturing business. But what's really interesting is we also have an integrated innovation center. It's unique in Malta, it's unique in our industry. And we had, prior to COVID, a lot of customers, 2 or 3 a week, coming here, sitting down with us doing innovation presentations. So as I said earlier, I welcome anybody, come and visit, have a look. It's really different in the world. We're very proud of our new Malta manufacturing plant. It was built 2 years ago. We even managed to integrate a giant lipstick at the front of it, which is we converted the water tower. I think when you look at the scale of it, on the top right hand, you can see our old factory compared to the new factory. It's a 20,000 square meter plant, 20 million euro investment to phase 1. And now we've got phase 2 with our capacity expansion as well. We're a vertically integrated business. Malta has a challenge. We have to import raw materials, we have to export. So the more processes that we can do here, the better. So we do injection molding, we have automated assembly, decoration, even cutting our own mirrors, as well as the lacquering, metallizing, inside spray coating. We have beautiful offices. We've invested in new factory, new lacquering lines, new automation, and new tool room. So we're very proud of the capabilities that we've built. And this new factory has been designed with sustainability, with flexibility and agility in mind for customers. As we move into Industry 4.0, really important. In China, this is actually not one building. There's a 6-inch gap between both buildings. We have the left-hand side. And when we opened in China 15 years ago, we built a similar plant to Malta with inline production. Everybody said we were crazy. They said, you can't manufacture in China like that. People cost is nothing, just throw people at it. When we started, I think labor cost was 1 to 11. Now it's 1 to 2. We have a lot less people than a traditional Chinese factory because of the way we manufacture. It's vertically integrated. We've got all the same capabilities in China with the support of the rest of the group. In Korea, as I said, we've invested heavily. It's one of the largest sources of supply. Under our TKM, our Toly Korea manufacturing, we have 2 plants. This plant was opened in 2017. It's smaller than Malta. It's just under 8,000 square meters. When you look at it, it looks like a 5-star hotel. It's marble clad, it's glass clad. 20 years ago, when I first went to Korea, all the factories were sheds. Now they all look like this. It's also vertically integrated, as with our other facilities. This is a brand new plant. It's just been built in Korea. It's being migrated at the moment, and it gives us space for expansion, but also for us to change our business model to go into stretch injection blow molding, which complements our injection molding capabilities. We also have a joint venture in Korea, Toly Airless Packaging, who also built a brand new facility a couple of years ago, 20,000 square meters, to do airless pumps and airless packs. So when you look at the capability that we've created in Korea, which is one of the most dynamic markets for beauty in the world in terms of technology and innovation, we're really well positioned for growth for the future. So if you look at our manufacturing business, we have 150 molding machines across the group, and each of our plants can offer almost the same capabilities. So we can manage global launches where you can do some products in Europe, some in Asia, some in Korea at the same time. We look at operations. Our operation excellence is really building around being a leader in safety, product quality, productivity, and service. There are 3 pillars. Our customers, we want them to trust us. We want to give good service. We want to develop products properly, professionally, and efficiently. Around industrial performance, the right standard and operating systems and processes, quality and efficiency. And of course, around our people. We want our people to be engaged, to be trained and empowered. And for me, sustainability runs across all of that. You're a sustainable business if you've managed to focus on each of these 3 pillars. Quality is very similar. We want to be, we have a very good reputation for quality, but our focus is to move from being reactive to proactive by keeping the customer in the center of everything that we do. Sustainability, a big topic, big discussion, very important for Toly, very important for our customers. So a couple of years ago, we came up with our sustainability charter, which was around the business, our people, our customers, our suppliers, our products, and our manufacturing plants and processes. If you look at our approach, I would say there are three pillars to this as well. First of all, materials. We've been supplying packaging in styrenic materials for the last 50 years. But everything is changing. Our customers are now looking for us to have bio-based and biodegradable plastics. They're looking for recycled plastics. We're now selling packaging with 30, 50% recycled content. And they're also looking for raw materials or packaging built out of recyclable materials. What do I mean by that? There are streams for PET because of water bottles, Coke bottles, polypropylene. So our business is really changing when it comes to materials. When it comes to design, we need to be sustainable in the way that we design our products. So lightweighting, taking out weight, having monomaterial solutions, refillable solutions, taking out eco-unfriendly materials such as magnets, really important. And finally, the way we run our business, we're investing in fully electric molding machines, which are much more energy efficient, conserving resources. We're putting PV panels on our roof. So it's really a complete approach to sustainability. Our sourcing offices are in Hong Kong and in Korea. These are some of the products that we source. Our advantage is that if a category grows, we can pull it into our manufacturing plants and start reducing it ourselves. I'm a product person. I love the products that we make. So I'll show you a few slides of some of the great brands and products that we do. We're like a makeup brand, eyes, lips, and face. So compacts for eyeshadows, for the eye, for brows, for mascara, lipstick, lip gloss, and then droppers, liquid foundations, loose powders. In skincare, a lot of it's driven by our airless technology. So airless pistons, airless pouches, airless tubes, airless compacts, airless jars, but also droppers, dispensing in heavy wall jars. And a smaller category is on niche perfume sector, where we take advantage of our surface decoration capabilities. But to be honest, our focus is more makeup and skincare because we believe we can add more creativity in those fields. Then through our trading business, as well as plastics, we're able to offer metal packaging, displays, click pens, twist pens, tubes, and going into new categories like hair care and oral care, using more traditional beauty packaging. We have a partnership in paper. So a few years ago, people asked me and they said, we want to have a paper compact. And I said, well, we make plastic compacts. So if you can't beat them, join them. So we went to find a supplier and a partnership in paper. We have a sweet spot on pallets, on setup boxes with Punghing, who's one of the largest paper printers in China. We do the innovation and marketing in Europe, but the supplies come from China. We have partners in our platform in the US, Sussex, in South America, CEMEX, where we can offer manufacturing in region, really important based upon the way the world is changing. We have partners in Japan, focused really on application systems as well. So again, something quite interesting. But probably the most exciting partnership, which is Goldrain, which is a partner in China. They were one of the first companies to do lotion pumps, obviously very popular with these hand sanitizers and dispensing soaps. We moved with them into beauty packaging, skincare, and airless. And this picture of the factory doesn't do it much justice because it's 4 times the size. It's an 80,000 square meter plant. And we're currently moving this partnership into a joint venture in 2022. So it'll be a Toly Goldrain joint venture factory. What is our strategy? So Toly is trying to create this global beauty product development platform, an ecosystem of partners and integrated manufacturing capabilities. Whether our customers want manufacturing from our plants, sourcing, innovation, creativity, we're able to have this 360-degree view of business. And integrated in this platform now are some of these new business models. Beauty Trill, It's our take on full service. It's a brand for brand. We're not just able to sell packaging, we're able to sell ready to go filled products. Fantastic opportunity. We have a social purpose built around inclusivity, which is quite popular at the moment in our industry. But if we can scale this, it really gives an option for our customers for speed to market. Because instead of choosing the packaging, choosing the formulation, they come to us for ready to go product. It's a win-win for both them and for us. We also have a design studio, Imagine Passion, where we can offer branding, we can offer packaging design, innovation, and some research and audiovisual productions. These are some of the brands that we've created branding for over the last couple of years. So if you're a startup, you come to Toly, we're able to support you by doing your branding, offering you full service, innovation, packaging, standard, custom, all fitting into our platform. During COVID, we had a real challenge. We were just chatting earlier with Joe, obviously we used to travel a lot to see our customers. When you couldn't travel, how do you present to your customers? How do you present innovation? And the answer was this. We opened an audio visual studio here in Malta, in our innovation center, to do fantastic video productions. So if we can't present face-to-face, we can use digital, we can use technology to be able to demonstrate. And I'll share with you in a minute a couple of videos of what we've created in our studio. The other focus is innovation. We want to be the most innovative company in our industry, and that's built around two pillars, application and dispensing. Here you see 9 applicators, but actually we spent hundreds of thousands of euros the last 2 years, and we have more than 100 innovative applicators for brows, for lips, for face, for skincare, okay, which are very different. You'll see applicators combining materials, a metal ball with a flock sleeve, a fiber brush and a flock sleeve, a silicone applicator, really different. And if you look at Concurve, it shows you've got a volume applicator, you've got a tip for defining and a back part for blending. So really exciting. So in line with our studios and our innovation applicator, I'm going to show you 2 very short videos just to show how we present these to our customers. The first one is a face applicator called Born. So really beautiful videos, building upon our concept for innovation and our Maltese heritage. Have a look at this one, it's a bit more lively. we're a manufacturing business, but look at what we're able to create through our design studio. So as I said, I'm a product person. Just here are a few launches that we've done the last 2 years. And I think it tells a story of legacy brands, Clarins, Christian Dior, but also these emerging and these digital brands. And also when you look at it, it's across of makeup, of cushion, of skincare, dispensing, droppers, and jars. So a lot of nice brands and beautiful products. A lot of people ask me, so how has Toly evolved over these last 50 years? And I think this really tells the story. When I was growing up, my father was running the business. If they asked him who was Toly, he would say, we're an engineering company. We build molds and we convert plastics. When he died in 1991, and we now had our lacquering line, our decoration, our assembly, I said we need to change our mindset. We've now become a packaging supplier to the beauty industry. We're still building molds, we're still converting plastics, but it's different. We're able to create a beautiful package. 5 years ago, we've changed again, and we've become a solutions provider to the beauty industry with this 360-degree view of business. You come into our corporate office today as a manufacturing business, we have makeup artists, we have beauty bloggers, we have trend watchers, we have graphics teams doing branding, concept design teams designing for the retailers, innovation teams, inventing and creating new products all the time, all supported by our technical and our operations team. But the future is about building on our platform, having partnerships with our customers and suppliers, looking at innovation workshops, speed to market, and finding ways to be different and think different. In fact, that takes me very nicely on to our theme for 2022. Every year we have a theme, and for this year, our theme is Be Different, Think Different for a Sustainable Future. But it all comes down to strategy. As Michael Porter says, don't compete to be the best, instead to compete to be unique. Strategy is not aspirations or goals. Strategy is not the same as vision or mission. It defines the company's distinctive approach to competing and the competitive advantage on what it will be based. And at Toly, we want to add value to our customers. We know there'll always be somebody who can make our products cheaper. So the only way to compete is to be unique or to be different. And being different means that we must think different. How can we be different? The way that we hire, the way we innovate, finding new solutions, the way we service our customers, the way we see the world through a wide-angled lens, the way we fight for business, the way we plan, and we need to find customers who embrace and value our difference. And the second part is for a sustainable future. You've heard me say it earlier, sustainability is not just being environmentally friendly, it's about protecting the business, investing in the business, building a strong foundation for future generations, whilst being agile and reinventing ourselves as the world is changing. That is what a sustainable business is. But we must also be more environmentally friendly and protect our planet for future generations. I couldn't do a presentation today without having a slide on COVID. So let me just talk for a minute about that. And I think the way we've approached it is the first quote, which I quite like, from Sun Tzu, the famous Chinese general, who said, in the middle of a crisis, there's always opportunity. And that's the way that we've looked at COVID here at Toly. For sure, the world has changed, less travel. Don't think business travel will come back. There's been much more digital transactions, online shopping. Our industry from 0, 25, 30% has ended up online. New supply chain strategies, new categories. And how have we managed this? We very quickly shifted to this online world to be able to do presentations like this online instead of face-to-face. Focusing on new product categories, building a stronger sense of community within our organizations. And I think COVID has taught us to understand what is really important. And for me, it's people, it's not money, which makes Toly again different. A lot of our competitors are owned by private equity. Their focus is very much on short-term profits. So what we've seen now, Toly has a long-term vision. We're investing in people, in innovation, in capabilities in the long term. As Charles Darwin said, it's not the strongest of the species that survives, nor the most intelligent. Instead, it's the one that's most adaptable to change. And I preach that every day to my teams. I've been running this business for 30 years. I've been through 5 crises. Every one of them we've survived. We've come out stronger by continuing to adapt to the way the world has changed. We have a very simple vision, mission, and ambition. Our vision is to create this global beauty product development platform, connecting ideas with know-how and capabilities. Our mission is to partner with the best beauty brands around the world, the most innovative, and help bring and launch amazing products to market, driven by our core values, which are very simple. People, let me just go back. People, passion, pride, and creativity. And our core purpose is to make a positive impact on everybody and everything that we touch. We're also ambitious. We want to be able to sell by 2030, although we've slipped a couple of years with COVID, 1 billion products through our platform, where we were 2 years ago at around 200 million. I also believe that we're different from many other packaging suppliers. We're privately owned with this family spirit, this long-term vision. We're customer-centric with a global commercial structure. We have global manufacturing driven by our technologies, and we've created an agile and innovative business model that's disrupting the traditional packaging supplier. So let me end today with 2 quotes. And for me, the future is not an upgrade of the present, it's an invitation or an opportunity to think in a completely different way. Ties in very nicely with our theme this year, be different, think different for a sustainable future. And as COVID has taught us the last 2 years, life is not about waiting for the storm to pass. Instead, it is learning how to dance in the rain. Thank you very much.
Excellent. That was an excellent presentation, Andy. As you well know, I knew your parents very well. In fact, when I was in public practice, obviously I was the partner responsible to the Toly products. And I also remember actually when you going through the certain slides, I remember when your father got the UV lacquering line from Japan in 1990 and the difficulties that were being encountered at that time. Obviously, your parents would be extremely proud of you today. 30 years on, you've done extremely well. I remember you saying you're wanting to hit 100 million. Well, you've hit 100 million. And now that you're actually aiming to hit 1 billion, obviously you're on your way there. One of the questions I was going to ask, because I did actually look up your accounts actually, and in the chairman's statement, you actually mentioned about reinvents on COVID-19 has changed the world, and in some cases, this I'm quoting actually from the report, there will be no going back. This is all about reinvention, and you actually mentioned how can Toly connect differently with its customers? How can Toly create a stronger digital strategy? How can Toly develop a stronger value proposition? And how can Toly offer creative solutions that disrupts the market? I think you've answered all those particular questions in your presentation. You're obviously very passionate in what you do, and obviously, I was going to ask actually. I mean, all right, you got a aiming to hit 1 billion within the next 8 years.
It's a billion products, not 1 billion.
Billion products. Okay. Well, what is the? Do you have an exit route? Do you have a plan, or as to what's going to happen next, or succession plans and everything else? So.
Yeah, I'm quite lucky that
I know that you have actually, not that I've heard recently, but I know that along the line, and certainly in past years, you've been approached to be taken over many a time. And I just wondered what your ultimate aim is, to moving forward.
Well, our ultimate aim is to stay a privately owned business with a family spirit. So Dorian, my partner, is our Chief Marketing Officer. With her, the three kids are all working in the business, all leading in different areas, and having aspirations to carry on and to continue to grow the business. So I think you're in a good space. If we look at our competitors, a lot of them have cashed in, have sold. As I said, private equity has really come into our business in the packaging sector, taking over everybody. But it's a different business model. It's much more short term. It's really a financial strategy and not investing in the long term. And I honestly believe we have so much opportunity to continue along our route and to continue to grow.
No, I mean, you can see that obviously the passion about Zoll, you know, and it's you that's actually driven the company for the last 30 years. And you certainly actually made it grow in quite a dynamic way, for which I congratulate you. As I say, I'm sure your parents are very pleased with what you've actually achieved.
Maybe just picking up on other things.
And your brother must be pleased too.
Another thing you mentioned, Joe, was I say that COVID was probably one of the best things that happened to our company. And you say, well, how is that? Despite obviously the medical situation and the health situation around the world, you could say we were busy fools. We were jumping on planes every 2 weeks. We were chasing customers. Customers were coming here. Our focus was very much on growth and external. Now, when that all stopped, what happened? We had to focus internally. And we've done in the last 2 years, we've built, I think, more than 5 years worth of changes in the organization to build a stronger foundation to be able to grow in the future. So I think if we didn't have that COVID, we would have still be running around like crazy, and we wouldn't have stopped and reflected and see what we can change, what can we make stronger for the future.
Yeah. Okay, I think I've lost you a bit. Okay, I personally don't actually have any questions. So I'd like to thank you, Andy, for the excellent presentation that you've made. Obviously, I look forward to seeing maybe another presentation made in a few years' time, see how you've actually overcome COVID and how the company has actually continued to actually move forward from strength to strength. I'd like to actually thank all the MBN participants that participated at today's webinar. As I said, Andy, thank you very much for that presentation. And the only other thing that I'd like to actually mention is that the MBN is scheduled to actually meet on Malta. We're scheduled to have our next webinar either on the 21st of March, 22. I'm very keen on meeting on face-to-face as opposed to actually having webinars. So again, hopefully I'll be discussing with our board to see when to actually restart a meeting live for our monthly meetings. So I'd like to thank you all for being present. Thank you, Andy. Thank you, Peter, for organizing it. And without further ado, I declare this webinar closed. Thank you very much, everybody.